Oh, how's it going, Jason? How you doing?
Really good. Working on the new album for Rat?
Yeah, I joined Rat in about July of 2008, and it's almost been 2 years now. And we recorded a record last year. Actually, it's all done. It's in the can, and it's going to be released actually in about 6 weeks. And we're just waiting for it to come out really and start touring again.
How far do you presume the tour's going to be? Like North American tours?
We're going to go everywhere. We already have European dates set up and in North America as well. And we're going to try to go to Canada, South America. We went to South America last year and we loved it and want to go back.
How's your guitar equipment these days? You using the same equipment you're using, or you're going to new, different tones and stuff with Rat?
Actually, I did have to change my sound a little bit with Rat. For a while, I was using like early '70s Marshalls with a signal processing, guitar processing thing, like a G3 unit by Digitech. It's kind of like a J station kind of device where all your effects and sounds are inside there. And I've been using that for a while. When I did join Rat, those guys thought I did sound a little processed. It was kind of a processed sound, and they wanted a more natural sound. So now me and Warren are just kind of hooking a couple pedals straight into the amp, and that's it. And we're using Soldanos usually, or Black Star amps, or Marshalls usually.
When you used to play in the old albums of Quiet Riot, what type of tone did you go with that? Effects and pedals right to the amp?
Yeah, it was the same way. I kind of reverted back to my roots, actually, when I rejoined with Rat. I basically used the same heads I was using the processing stuff with the early Marshalls. I still have those same heads I used in the Quiet Riot albums and the tours. And I would use distortion boxes back then. I used MXR distortions, or either there was a Rat distortion, a pedal called the Rat distortion box back then. No connection with the band Rat. Just a company called Propo made them. I used to use those a lot. Really about it.
Like when you switched to like processed Digitex and all that stuff, when did that happen?
Actually that happened in the 90s. We were trying to scale it down because we're playing smaller places when, a lot of the metal bands weren't doing as well as they were in the 80s. And, it's easier to travel with a signal processing device rather than a bunch of pedals and a rack mount full of stuff, A lot of the new technology, a lot of sounds are in just a little unit, and you hook your guitar in that little unit into your amp, and they supply rental amps, and all you got to travel with is your guitar and a little processor, It's much easier.
Your song Battle Axe, let's talk about that for a minute. From Metal Health, where did you get the idea to do that song? Was it part of your guitar spotlight solo that it just ended up being?
Yeah, you're right. I was playing that same solo live at the clubs, and when we got our record deal, sometime during the middle of the recording, the producer wanted to do a guitar solo on the record, try something, and I go, okay, I have something I was playing in this live all for years, whatever it was, and I laid it down, and he liked it. I personally didn't like the performance at the time. I thought I could have done better, but he thought the sound was good and the magic was there, and he thought it was fine, so he made me leave it. Kind of wanted to redo it, but it was, yeah, you're right. It's basically the same solo I'd been doing in the club scene for probably a couple of years.
It's a great trademark what you do in that song. Every little structure really, really tight.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I was very influenced by classical music. I think a lot of '80s guitar players were influenced by classical guitar players and classical music. As the shows in their playing, people like Randy Rhoads, Yngwie Malmsteen, and Eddie Van Halen. A lot of people they're very, very classically influenced, and I was as well. And it tells in a lot of the scales I was doing. And
what's up that you didn't play on the Rehab album from 2006?
Yeah, me and Rudy Sarzo left Quiet Riot in 2003, and I was already pursuing other things with other people, and they continued on with other people as well. So
for Rat now, you've been playing for 2 years around. What's your favorite old songs to do with Rat?
A Rat song? My favorite old Rat song to play live is Lay It Down.
Because they got a big catalog also of great songs.
They do got a lot of great songs. I never realized that until I started working with those guys. And they play a lot of songs live, too. They play like almost like 2 hours long, hour and a half, 2 hours long. And Stephen doesn't like to talk a lot to the crowd. So they play song after song after song. It's like a lot to learn, really was.
And it gets tiring playing that much, or energy still great?
Oh yeah, our energy's still great. Even though we're up there in age, we eat well and we try to exercise, and we're still in good shape for our age, you know.
So basically, when you're going tour, do you play every night, or you have a few days off in between?
We do play every night sometimes. I think we did 6 weeks in a row last year, and tour buses. But I think we did the most we did was 5 nights in a row, and then we had like a day or two off. So I remember Quiet Riot. We did like one time we did like I think it was like 13 shows in a row or something, 14 shows in a row.
That's a lot.
That was kind of tough. Yeah, it is. It really is, especially for a singer. You know, guitar player and drummer can get away with it, but a singer, it's really hard on their throat, and it's stress on them.
Going back to Randy Rhoads, you were friends with Randy Rhoads, or just a acquaintance?
Actually, I had the opportunity to meet him a number of times, probably 10, 15 times. And I remember one time specifically, I was in the band Snow, and we were opening up for Quiet Riot. And I remember I was in the dressing room by myself. I don't know where the other guys in the band were, but Randy came out of his dressing room and came into our dressing room, and I talked to him, just me and him one-on-one. He was a really nice guy, very non-confrontational personality. And he was checking out my guitars, picked up my acoustic guitar I had at the time. We had an acoustic couple songs that we played live, and he picked up my acoustic guitar and was playing it, and we're talking. I remember another time we were at a party in Burbank, and I was with a couple band members from the band I was in, Snow. And at the party, they had a bunch of equipment set up and a little stage in this basement. And I remember Randy and Kevin DeBro were there, and I remember me and some of the guys from Snow were up there jamming on the equipment. And we asked Randy if he wanted to come up. He didn't want to come play for some reason. He wasn't in the mood. And Kevin didn't either. But other people were coming up and sitting in and stuff like that, and as well as I did. But I wish Randy would have done it, because then I could have said I played with him before. But I never got the chance to jam with the guy, unfortunately. But I did meet him a number of times and saw him play a lot of times. Actually, me and Kevin had talked about that party many times throughout our years, together. We remember that time? Oh yeah. That was before we really knew each other,
So how far were you from, like, let's say the Quiet Riot guys in the 70s, like living areas?
We all lived within 10, 15 minutes of each other always. Even me and the guys from Rad are all real close from each other. We're all living in the San Fernando Valley, basically. Actually, I did share an apartment with Kevin DeBro when I first joined with his band. We shared an apartment for about a year and a half.
How did you end up playing in Quiet Riot?
I was playing with the band Snow, like I mentioned earlier, and then that band had broken up in 1981. And I remember the house that we had lived in, we're all getting ready to move out because we, couldn't afford to pay for the place anymore because the band had broken up. And I just miraculously got a call from those guys saying they need a guitar player, so I came down and worked with them for a while, and we got the record deal, and it worked out. I got lucky,
And the rest is history.
Yeah, pretty much.
What guitar did you use on the Metal Health album?
I used a black Charvel Telecaster, which the original guitar was stolen, but I have a replica of it that the people from Charvel made for me recently, actually. And I used, let me see, what else did I use? A Fender Stratocaster, which was borrowed from a friend, and I had a Gibson Les Paul or something, and I don't even remember now. It's been so long. I think I used some kind of Gibson guitar and some of this stuff too, and also I had a Charvel Star Body guitar. I think I used that a little bit.
So you're saying that there'd be some Fender Stratocaster in the album itself?
Oh yeah, I use it in a number of parts, mainly the clean sounds. Any clean tones that you hear on that record were Fender Stratocaster, like a 70s, 80s.
Charvel, you've been enjoying the Charvels all these years?
Yeah, I have an endorsement with Charvel Jackson, also Gibson guitars as well. I'm using both of them.
Now, do you recall when you played in the Hearing Aid 1985 album?
Yes, I do. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
How long did it take you to get into that situation and to record your parts?
Actually Ronnie James Dio set that whole thing up, and he had it all arranged, and he had times for everybody to come in and do their thing. And I remember the day when he had everybody do the singing, we all came in together, obviously, because they filmed that, or everybody together. And that was a lot of fun. I met a lot of people I hadn't met before, and everybody was really nice, and everybody was really cooperative and had a great time.
And basically, when it was recorded, you already knew what you're going to be doing on the album, on that song, for Stars.
Yeah, they sent us a copy of the song, everybody on a cassette tape back then, and a copy of the lyrics, and the part that I sang was basically really simple. We're stars, we're stars. I didn't sing no lead vocal or anything like that, obviously, but for the guitar solos, everybody just had a copy of the song, and they made up their little parts at home, and came in and laid it down, or however they did it. Maybe they came in and came up with something right there. I don't know. I had a little something I kind of made up at home a little bit, and came in there.
So for Infestation, the new Rat album, how long did it take you guys to record this?
To record the music, not that long. I think we worked on it maybe a total of a couple of months, and including pre-production, like writing the songs and deciding what songs were going to be put on the record and arranging them and all that stuff. It was probably about three to 4 months, maybe tops.
Is there going to be a music video coming with this?
Yes, there will be. We've shot it already, actually, about a month ago, and they're finishing it up right now.
For Best of Me?
Correct, yeah.
Well, Carlos, been a real pleasure chatting with you tonight.
Nova Scotia, huh? I would love to go there one time. I've never been there. Yeah, I tell the people of Nova Scotia that we're looking really forward to going there one day, and we're hoping to make it there for sure. Rock out with everybody there. Please do, yeah. Please let us know immediately, yeah. That's one place that, unfortunately, Quiet Riot was never able to make it either to that part of the country, unfortunately. Okay, thank you so much, Jason.